Hi, welcome back to class, and this is our last, module. We're not going to be doing any more quizzes, so the last quiz that you complete is the last one for the class. And I said before, our final's a little different. Normally, we're doing presentations. Now we have written stuff that we've written. So we're going to take our written paper, and that's going to be in place of the presentation you normally would have had to sit through or perform. So this week we are going to keep looking at the future and looking at how policy has changed. There's nothing associated with the textbook. However, there's an extra video that I usually have the class watch and discuss on Rosa Brooks, who looks at the legal side of militarization in our country, and she's a little critical of it, but she's a Pentagon person who ended up becoming, she's always been a scholar, but went to Georgetown and now runs an initiative looking at the Future War Project, and so looking at the military and the military's role and the expanding of the military to get into things it traditionally hasn't gotten into. And this is an area that interests a lot of people who are currently serving, and people who were looked on with a favorable eye by a lot of military scientists. And so if you read her book, the back jacket has writing on there. It has reviews from Jim Mattis and other people who are recent administration people, but she comes at the military as an idea of maybe our expanding role of the military could be problematic. And so this video is an interesting interview. It's about 40 minutes from what I remember. There is extra question and answer, so if you have more interest, you can watch the rest of that. But she's really going over the essence of her book in here. So you're going to watch a video of Rosa Brooks. You're going to complete a Rosa Brooks Dropbox. And you're going to do your responses. It's actually 6 responses, so I'll fix this, to our last discussion. This is, again, due a Wednesday, next Wednesday. I have that as midnight, and I will leave that. That doesn't really matter. But you're also going to upload your paper as an initial discussion post to your paper's discussion. Make that live right now. And as people are loading these, I want you to read your classmate's paper and write a 1-paragraph response describing what you learned from their paper. Just read through the paper and give some ideas of what you learned. This is not an invitation to critique or be critical. I want you just to talk about what you learned. A lot of times when students are speaking and you're told to discuss something about it, people turn a natural eye towards criticizing. That's not the opportunity here. I want you just to discuss what you learned from their paper. And then I will have a final discussion. It's not going to be difficult, but there will be a final discussion and Dropbox I'll have posted. I'll do it this Sunday, so you have through next week to get this done. You can have this done as fast as you want within a couple of days next week. And it's not going to be tedious. There's no test. The last quiz we had is our last quiz, but I do want to wrap things up. And again, when you're doing a discussion, stick to the information. Every question I've used all semester has been from the authors of the textbook. So they're from Sage Publishing. So they are pertinent and relevant to the field of social policy. And remember, this is a multidisciplinary study, so there is economics and history and political science and sociology involved. I told you that at the beginning. So make sure you're discussing that. And again, we are talking about problem solving or not problem solving. And throughout the semester, I've always asked that you discuss the problem solving or not problem solving of something. And the argument that it's a political discussion doesn't really hold water. It's a problem-solving discussion, and if we're going to discuss that, everything could be political. So, but this is a class that people are usually trying to look at the positives and how can we make things better, how can we take something and fix it, and if there's an issue like we're going through now, we have a pandemic we're going through, and there's a lot to deal with this, and there's a lot of opportunity to create a better society. But there's also a lot of opportunity to look back and say, what did we do wrong leading up to this? Most political scientists and most sociologists and most citizens would argue that when the government is doing good, the government should invest on being prepared for when things don't work out. So this time was a pandemic. Last time there was a housing crash. Before that, we had a terrorist attack. We don't know what's going to happen, but a good government would make sure that they're ready to deal with the problems that come ahead of it, no matter what they are. And, like I said, this is a very difficult situation, but the non-cynical side of a political scientist or a sociologist would say this is a great opportunity to build something better. And this is exactly what happened, with the Great Depression. There were opportunities to build social safety nets that were put in place and worked on for years. But there was also a strong effort to dissolve those safety nets and dissolve the stability that we were trying to build as a country for all of the citizens of the country. It's not a red state, blue state question. It's not a Democrat-Republican question. Regardless of your political affiliation, people fall upon hard times and they have unexpected events come and hit them. And we have government to do big things. And the big thing is be ready for unexpected events. And when they happen, to be able to maintain composure and get through them and make tough decisions that may be politically dangerous decisions or politically bad decisions, but make the right decisions to take care of the citizens of the country. And so that is a major draw on social policy. It's not pessimistic. It's very optimistic, but it is also critical of problems that have been made for us. And that is an ongoing discussion in this field, and every textbook goes into the same direction. And for those of you who went in that direction and had discussions and kept the idea of looking forward towards building things better, I'm glad. If you haven't, I really hope that you will take that idea and move forward with it. The reason we discuss politics and discuss social policy issues is with the hope of fixing them. And so that's really about that. And so I'm sure all your papers are going to be along that lines of here's the problem, here's how we're going to fix it, this is my idea, and I'm glad that you're able to do that. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to me. And we have, a week and a half left of class. So on Sunday, I will have another video loaded, another screencast that will have our final discussion, which I'll have directions for. Will be a little different, of course, because we're not going to have it go past finals week. But it'll be something you can get done quick and, move on with. And those of you who are graduating, congratulations. You'll be able to be totally complete at that point. And those of you who aren't, I'd love to see you in another class. Well, thank you so much for all your hard work, and I will get back to you on Sunday.